yes, Mzansi, welcome back. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and it is Tuesday, and that's why we're choosing to have an incredible conversation that I think everybody can benefit from. We're talking about getting intimate with our relationships, getting intimate with conversation, and bringing it to the forefront. Because today we'll be talking about New Year's resolutions for couples and what fresh perspective you and your partner could tackle, plus the importance of touching base with each other. So we've brought in some experts to do just that. We've got Dr. Angelique Nespola in the building, who is a psychologist as well as a motivational speaker. And then we've also got life coach and actress Barciel Hopkins, who will be sharing their top tips and advice on making and keeping your New Year's resolutions on the forefront of conversation and of the action list too. So ladies, thank you so much for being a part of our expert panel this morning. How are you doing?
Good to be here. It's good to be here.
We actually studied together. We did our honours degree together. So it's very special if we sometimes can do things together again.
And collaborate.
Circle,
Is
yeah?
this the first time you've seen each other since?
No, we've actually done a radio show together a while ago, and we're always in contact. So it's special to after many years, sit on the couch together again.
Oh, I love this. All right, ladies, let me get into this couple conversation. In the beginning of last year, my man and I got together and we put a couple's vision board there saying this is the goals for the new year. Tell me why we didn't touch it until December at the end of the year. Okay, it collected some dust, but the point was the intention was there.
Yeah.
Because I think we realized that it is important to get on the same page, right? And can you talk to me more about the value of doing that as a couple?
Absolutely. I love that you did that.
Yeah.
And I think often we are so ambitious about setting our goals, and it's so useful. But that follow through is important. So we need to check in, we need to have check-ins where we assess.
Yeah.
How's it going? What do we need to reevaluate? What do we need to change? Because that's the thing with goals is we need to adjust. Circumstances change and we need to change. So to sit together to brainstorm, what are our goals as a couple? What are our goals as individuals? What does that look like? What are your needs in those goals? How can I support you? I love that.
So let's be maybe practical about this, because I'm sure that after this conversation, people are going to want to upgrade that relationship or upgrade the intimacy and the conversation. Where do we begin? If we haven't started this thing at all and we have no idea where to start, what's a good sort of version of a goal that we could introduce as couples?
I think very important is honesty. I think, you know, we can have all these ideas and assumptions that someone is on the same page as you, but if we don't really speak about it, and sometimes we have to be honest and it might lead to an uncomfortable conversation, but I always say the quality of my relationships depend on how honest I am with people. So honesty when it comes to that kind of thing. And, you know, I also believe even if you don't, you know, stick to that exact goal that you had, as long as you had a combined vision, at least there's direction. Because some people are very anti-specific resolutions because they say they just set themselves up for failure. And then I always go, as long as you have a picture and a vision that you at least make the same decisions in the same direction, that's already a win.
Absolutely. And I think within that honesty is the emotional intimacy. This is everything in relationships. Having that connection and nurturing it. I think, you know, Disney movies have us believing in things need to be perfect. It's not always like that, and that's okay. We need to work at it. We need to consciously make the effort to work at that emotional intimacy.
Consciously just being honest is a lot easier said than done. Because
Absolutely.
that means you've got to ask yourself the real question of what do I want? And am I okay to be honest with that, knowing that it might not align? That's scary.
It's a very scary one.
And you need to know yourself really well.
Yeah.
You need to have introspection. You need to be connected to yourself to be able to know what are my needs, what are my triggers, what are my fears, and to share this with your partner so that you can connect. Because connection happens in vulnerability, right?
Yes. I absolutely love that. Ladies, thank you so much for what you've given us so far. I just want to take a moment to congratulate you, Marcel, for an incredible thing that's recently happened to you. You took to the socials and you let us know that there is a bun in the oven. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. Pictures for you
Was
and
this
your
on the vision
man.
board?
Yes. See, it worked. The vision board worked.
Congratulations. Congratulations. What an
Thank
exciting
you.
journey that
Thank
lies
you so
ahead of you.
much.
And yeah, we just wanted to say from our Feel Good fam to you and your man that all the best for the journey going forward.
Thank you so much.
Listen, this is actually pretty awesome, and I think this is such a real-life example of what many people might be dealing with in a relationship, planned or not. A kid is always something that can come up and surprise us or get us excited or overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Why do we deal with a situation like that as a couple? That's like, whoa, guys. We are now entering something inevitably new, inevitably overwhelming. As a couple, how do we then navigate that, and how could we incorporate these goals to make it achievable and more fun, I guess? Because it shouldn't just be scary, clearly.
Yeah, because we're adding another subsystem to the family, right?
Yeah.
We've got the couple subsystem, we've got you as a married couple or as partners, then you've got the family subsystem as children. That has its own goals. You have your own goals as an individual. The couple has its own goals. So you're kind of adding layers to
It's like family goals now you've got to add.
Yeah, this vision board is growing. Having a spider diagram.
I think it so much depends also on personality. Like I'm very A-type, my husband as well, so we very much planned for this, so there was no surprise. But I also have friends, we actually spoke about it, another mutual friend, she's quite dreamy, and she's someone that will probably just go with the flow with it. You know, she'll be surprised in that moment and then just go for it. She wouldn't maybe plan it that hectically. So I think in the end of the day, once again, luckily you are a team, and that's what I wish for people when there's baby news, that you're not in it you're alone. And then if you maybe do feel like that, then there's hopefully a family structure of people that will support you in that overwhelming times.
Sure. I'm also going to ask another question to do with maybe not the negative side, but the challenging side of this. Because what happens when your goals don't necessarily align? How do you sort of deal with that? Is it a deal breaker, or is it something that you sit down and kind of uncover together?
I think this is where it's so important to have these discussions, to look at what are the person's needs within those goals. The goals maybe don't need to be in alignment, but how can I support your dreams? How can I support your ambitions?
Sure.
And that's where that introspection you touched on is so important, to know what your needs are, because we can't expect somebody to know our needs if we don't know them and if we haven't verbalized them yet.
Absolutely beautiful.
And I think it's just a great reminder for you, Mzansi, as well. If you do have any goals as a couple right now, you want to touch base or share some of it with us right now, then this is your call to action. Come through, use our WhatsApp line. It's 0634088863. Use the hashtag Expresso Show, and maybe you can add a bit of insight in this conversation. Maybe you've got some goals of your own that you want some help with, that we can maybe, with our expert panel, assist you on, because I think that's what it's about now. Let's be practical with our approach to what a relationship can be. You're mentioning that honesty, you're mentioning the fact that we need to be forthcoming. What about crazy goals like, let's get married? I know these are things that, like, not everyone in the relationship might be on the same sort of trajectory. Like, the guy or the female might be thinking about it, but the other partner might want it. Is it something that you can bring up if you know you want it, or should you kind of wait until maybe your partner also brings it up before you have the conversation? Because sometimes this could be like a, whoa, this is like too soon. I don't want to think about this. Yeah, and then it like throws the person off. Or is there a perfect time for these big goals that we talk about in a relationship?
This one is Michelle's field of expertise.
I think it's such a big timing thing with that type of question.
It's a big one, yeah.
And it's a big intuition thing. I think if you ask that for someone after 3 months, it might be a little bit of a red flag, you know, like, whoa. But I mean, if you've been in a very intimate, healthy, green flag relationship for 2 to 3 years, I think it's very, very fair to at some point ask that question. And then it's actually super important to be on the same page, because now, once again, one of the biggest things in relationships is we assume that person's on the same page. And I'm assuming he's already planning the engagement, but then that's why sometimes, once again, honest conversation, because then it's just an expectation management. Like, okay, no, this person is not there at all, but then at least let's just talk about it and hear, where are you, where am I? Okay, cool, not this year, or this isn't part of the plan. So then it's not that resentment thing that starts building. Because once again, assuming I'm going to get engaged, but haven't spoken about it, and
Yeah.
then this person is completely unaware, the other person, that this is the expectation. And this tension build, and it always, then other things start popping out. Because if there's resentment, we start seeing all the other things that, like the klein jakkalsies in Afrikaans that bother you. So once again, speak about it.
Yeah, and I think I want to add to that, not to be bound by society's timelines. I speak to so many of my clients who feel the societal pressure. It's now time to get married because I need to have children then on my timeline. So really to look at the timeline of you as a couple. How do you feel in that relationship? You should feel comfortable. You should feel supported, at ease. You shouldn't feel afraid and anxious in that relationship.
Sure.
So focus on what it feels like for you and your timeline, not society's timeline, not what you think other people need from you.
Right. I'm also a big fan of just bringing things up on the first or second date. I'm that person. Do you want to get married? Yes or no? Do you want children? Yes or no? Because don't waste my time.
Yes.
Yeah. If you
Yes.
know where you want to be, or rather put it on the table.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies. This is part one. Dr. Angelique and as well as Marcel. We're going to get into more about couples getting on the same page as we enter into this new year, which is a fresh perspective, right? We want our goals and resolutions to really be aligned. So if you really want to get in touch, 0634088863 is that WhatsApp line. Send us a voice note, send us a message, or hit us up on our socials. You can find us at Expresso Show.
Absolutely. Now, there's still a lot there.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's a Tuesday, and we always focus on health, relationship health in particular. We're going to continue down the avenue of talking about partners, right? We want to get you on the right note. So we brought in the experts today. We've got psychologist Dr. Angelique Nespola, as well as motivational speaker, life coach, actress, as well as model, Marcel Hopkins, talking about the New Year's relationships resolutions and how to reignite that spark within your relationships. And of course, we've asked you to get in touch, and I think we've got a couple of messages and notes.
Yeah, we got lots of messages coming through. We're going to start off with, I don't know if it's a voice or a message first, but let's see who's come through because we got a lot of action on our WhatsApp line. So who's up first?
Hi, good morning, Expresso family. I hope you guys are good. I just have one question. Is it a red flag when your partner constantly going back to his ex or messaging his ex while being with you?
Ooh.
Is he asking for himself?
Yeah. Look, I think we are speaking about goals, and if your goal is to build a solid relationship and
Right.
to build unity, I think that's possibly a relevant question. Red flag? Yes, no?
Immediate yes.
Yes.
And if there's resentment that builds in relation to that, which
Right.
it sounds like, I know I'm reading between the lines, there likely is.
It does sound like this is,
Yeah, and that creates emotional distance, and that leads to a whole other thing. So yeah, I'd go with red flag.
And distrust.
Yeah.
You know, like why and what is the conversations about? It just goes on such a big spiral. I think I always say in Afrikaans and English, break up. It's called that for a reason. There needs to be a break. This is not going on anymore. And, you know, maybe in the very far future you can think about friendship, but then your partner must be included in all of that. That can't be a separate secret thing about a friendship, yeah.
Excuse me, if you're risking your current relationship for the past and you're stuck in the past, that worries me.
what do you want?
Right.
Yeah.
There are enough people in the world to have other friends. Like,
What do we do with the said red flag? Because, cool, I got the red flag. Now I have an option to do something about it. Is this the time to bring in a conversation?
Definitely.
Be honest?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
okay.
And-
I think
and-
communication's vital.
I think, yes, being honest, having that conversation maybe leads to the question of how often do we have these conversations and how often and when do we choose these moments to have these conversations?
good
Because
one.
we're speaking about the fact that we need to introduce it. When is the best time to do that, and how do we approach this? Because sure, I might have this loaded thought in my mind, and then my partner's just chilling there having
Yeah.
breakfast, and I'm like, okay, so are you going to get married and why not? Because I noticed this and blah. And you're like, whoa, hang
just
on, I'm
woke
not ready to even engage.
I haven't even had my coffee yet.
How do we discern between finding the perfect time to bring about these
Yeah, it's a good
hard
question.
set conversations and these real moments in our relationship?
So my advice to my clients is to have regular check-ins with your partner, because we pick up things if we have these check-ins, not to wait for chaos, for fights, for disaster, to have check-ins.
Yeah.
Have them on the regular, and that looks different for different people.
Right.
It could be every second week, once a month, but have them scheduled and honor them, because then we can talk about things that come up before they become big things.
So,
I always do say just it's important to find a safe listening space, and then if you can't find it, to create it. Because my husband once said to me, when he comes home after a long corporate day of making sommetjies the whole day, he can't at the the get-go have a serious hectic conversation. So it's that also a mutual respect thing, but you know your partner best.
Right.
Let them unwind, have a moment, and then maybe over dinner when things are relaxed and you are connected and you are listening to each other, bring it up then. Because once again, then there's a space for it. This person is actually tuned in. And once again, if it's not happening, then you can create it and send them a message saying, listen, I really want to talk to you tonight. Whenever we have a moment on the couch, so there's also a preparation thing. And it's not this thing about you're just completely caught off guard and this person is just coming at you. They know, okay, she or him or, they have something they want to say. So now I'm going to be able to listen to that.
I like a Google Calendar invite too, so it's there. Schedule it in.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Let's have a chat night. Why not? Some wine, some coffee, whatever it may be. I think that's really good because I like to be prepared.
But what do you call that on the
a good
invite?
question.
Big chat.
Yeah.
Because
We
then
need
they might
to
get
talk.
scared.
Yeah, you got to be very careful when it comes to that. Chicken is safe enough.
relationship upgrading or something like that. Listen,
Let me upgrade you.
I think a lot of Mzansi is wanting to upgrade their relationships because we've got so many comments that have come through. So I'd love to take this opportunity to hopefully use our expert panel to do just that. And maybe we can assist you, Mzansi. So let's go through some comments and see what you'll have to say. Starting off with Jennifer Alexander says, good morning. Having a wonderful day and stay safe, Expresso family. We're celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary this year. And our goal is to celebrate many more wonderful years filled with love.
Oh my
All right.
goodness.
Well, that's more like a celebratory post. So
love
kudos
that.
to 30 years.
Yeah.
And here's to more of that.
30 years is crazy.
What
I mean,
a great
how?
foundation. She must give us some tips there. In there.
30 years is crazy. Well, let's see who else came and got in touch. We got another one from Shakur Lucas who says, still on the single island, but what I would say is strengthen the bond because that's very important. Trying new experiences together and supporting each other's goals and dreams. I think that's really important.
Yeah, I love
As a
that.
single person, you got to be self-aware of those things as well, right?
As a single person, I would always use new experiences as like a litmus test to see like who the person really is. Because I think on a date you have these like pretenses and everyone's like trying to show off. But when you go on an experience and you get like something real and raw, you get to see
their
who that
vulnerable
person.
side.
Yeah, you get to see who they really are.
Emerges.
The anger issues.
I think from the single island, that's some good advice there. So
Yeah.
definitely incorporate some new experiences
Oh,
for
wow.
sure.
But also just as a single person, putting yourself out there, because sometimes people become quite passive when they are in the single boetjie, if I can say it like that, where it's almost that thing about I'm going to sit on my couch and wait and pray for this person to cross my path. But it's like, no, you need to put yourself out there. And I always say, if you don't like the online dating scene, there's running clubs, there's book clubs, whatever, but put yourself out there. So that's it for you experience already, but then you get to experience different things in life and you have better exposure out there. So I still have single friends and I always say, how regularly do you really put yourself out there?
That's a good
And they're
point.
like, like we get a bit scared and we get in our comfort zone and then there's not necessarily going to be change that happens. So I like that, the experiences thing.
Yeah, and depending on the tax bracket, you could look on LinkedIn too.
Ooh.
I've heard that. I'm not saying
Some
from
new
experience, but
strategy.
this is what the word is on the street, guys. It's not me, I promise.
Listen, we've got some more comments to go through. I think we can try one more from Sandile Benati Chawula. Says, good morning, Expresso show. Since I'm in a long-distance relationship and I last saw my guy last year around June, my goal will be to see him again. And we both have one goal, which is to be together for a long time, as we have been together for almost 7 years now. Wow. 7-year long-term, long-distance relationship? That normally means something good.
Yeah.
Impressive, because that really puts your relationship to the test. I was in a long-distance relationship with my husband before, so I say this from experience that you really see different parts of the person and you really have to work at that relationship. So 7 years.
And the connection
Well done.
with my previous TV show that I worked on, I was also like gone for 4 months. And then people also asked me for advice. And I said, you can't just have this wishy-washy phone call every day and think that's communication and that's how you're going to stay connected. You really have to put a lot of effort and intention in that. So on the phone calls, not just how was your day, how was, you know, how did your day feel? What made you upset? Where are you? Like that thing. And if you can do it the right way, then it can totally work. It can, I think it is realistic to do long distance. Some people are like, no, it can't work. It depends on how much you want it. Yeah, how much you wanted to make it work.
Oh, ladies,
How much
this
you
is
want
fantastic.
it, yeah. How much you want it, and what do you want? That is the question you need to ask yourself before you even bring any questions to your partnership. But again, thank you so much, Dr. Angelique and Marcel, for coming through, for educating us, and I think inspiring us on the positivity of relationships and what they can be. It's a beautiful opportunity for you, Mzansi, so take advantage of the fact that you can communicate whenever you choose, and you can create a beautiful version of relationship just if you try. Enjoy.